This is the era where superhero movies finally earned a reputation for quality on the big screen. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 superhero movies of the 2000s. Number 10, X-Men. After the failure that was Batman and Robin, many were unsure if the superhero genre would ever recover. Thankfully, Bryan Singer introduced moviegoers to a group of mutants who changed everything.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Bringing life to many favorites from the comic book franchise. This film showed the world that not only could superhero films be successful, they could also be thoughtful and engaging works of art.
Get out of my bar, freak.
Bringing in a respectable cast, including Sir Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, the first X-Men film is an accomplishment on every level. Man, remember when nobody knew who Hugh Jackman was and we all just called him that guy who played Wolverine? Good times.
Sabretooth. Storm. What do they call you? Wheels?
Number 9, Watchmen.
They call me Dr. Manhattan. They explain the name has been chosen for the ominous associations it will raise in America's enemies.
When it comes to this flick, people are still pretty divided. Based on the iconic comic book series by Alan Moore, this adaptation drew its fair share of criticism. Set in the Cold War era, the film offers a unique take on the superhero genre, positioning them in an alternate history where Silver Age masked superheroes are either retired or working from the shadows. A dark, sometimes brutal look at a world torn apart and stitched back together, the film is the very embodiment of gritty.
Who is it?
While it performed very well at the box office, it was criticized for its complex narrative, as well as its failure, in some people's eyes, to live up to the source material. Nevertheless, Watchmen remains a must-see for superhero fans everywhere. Number 8, Hellboy. Back in 2004, if you were looking for a no-holds-barred superhero flick that wasn't afraid to poke fun at itself, this was the movie to see. After being brought to Earth by the Nazis and rescued by the Allies, a creature known as Hellboy is raised to protect the world from supernatural forces. Sporting a badass stone hand and an oversized revolver, this is one character you don't want to mess with. The film lives and dies with its protagonist, but thankfully, Ron Perlman was born to play Hellboy.
I'm not a very good shot, but the Samaritan here uses really big bullets.
Brought to life through the mad genius of Guillermo del Toro, Hellboy is the real deal.
You killed my father. Your ass is mine.
Number 7, Spider-Man. Spinning webs through the bustling streets of New York while apprehending the bad guys never looked so cool. Beautiful visual effects, a charismatic lead, and a downright evil and insane antagonist. This film hit all the right marks.
Back to formula.
With the fight scenes choreographed to a T and the slower moments filled with just the right amount of emotion, this superhero flick was oozing with confidence. Following its unbelievable box office success, the film would become the gold standard for which all other superhero films would aspire.
Wait! Who are you?
You know who I am.
I do?
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Who would have thought that getting bitten by a radioactive spider could be so much fun? Number 6, Batman Begins.
Are you ready to begin? I can barely stand. Death does not wait for you to be ready.
infusing new life into a character that had had its reputation destroyed during the late 90s. Christopher Nolan crafted an origin story unlike any in The Dark Knight's previous cinematic history.
Your parents' death was not your fault. It was your father's.
After the death of his parents, Bruce Wayne begins an odyssey of self-discovery that culminates in the creation of Batman, a masked vigilante who uses his intellect, immense wealth, and indomitable will to save Gotham City, adding a level of grit and darkness that had been lacking in previous incarnations. This film took a no-holds-barred approach with the subject matter. Earning accolades and dollars with relative ease, this film would pave the way for a generation of heroes unafraid to step into the shadows.
Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
Number 5, X2.
My God.
The second installment in the X-Men trilogy is often seen as the most complete. Featuring a compelling narrative and some of the best acting of the series, the film was praised by fans and critics alike. After an attempt on the president's life, the X-Men must form an uneasy alliance with Magneto in order to track down the perpetrator, the mutant-hating extremist named William Stryker.
The one thing I know better than anyone is my own work. Seal the room. Shoot it.
Seal the room! Step away!
Whereas the first film introduced audiences to the powers of the X-Men, the sequel turns them into a team you want to root for. Peppered with moments of intense action and heartfelt emotion, the film takes viewers on a roller coaster ride of thrills before X-Men 3 completely ruined it for everyone.
Don't let it control you.
Number 4, The Incredibles.
November 15th of 58. All was well, another day saved, when his cape snagged on a missile tent.
Does Pixar ever strike out? Seemingly on a never-ending run of successful and intelligent work, the well-known animation studio knocked this one out of the park. Mounting public backlash forces superheroes into early retirement. But when the villainous Syndrome concocts a plan that threatens the world, it's up to a family of retired supers to save the day. The film possesses a level of self-awareness rarely seen in the genre up until that point. Part James Bond spy thriller, part Avenger-style crime-fighting epic, The Incredibles has a little something for everyone. Taking home the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, this superhero flick even made it onto Empire's 500 Greatest Films of All Time.
See that? Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's old school.
Yeah? No school like the old school.
Number 3, Iron Man.
You ever lose an hour's sleep your whole life?
Be prepared to lose a few with you.
The spark that started the fire, this movie introduced the world to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a big way. A near-death experience causes billionaire genius Tony Stark to shed his childish ways and become Iron Man, a superhero that uses a highly advanced weaponized suit to fight evil.
My turn.
In the role that he was born to play, Robert Downey Jr. brings exactly the right amount of sarcastic bravado necessary to convince audiences that this is one hero worth the price of admission. Whether you were a fan of the comics or simply gave into the hype, one thing is certain, Iron Man was a whole lot of fun. Number 2, Spider-Man 2.
Cool Spidey outfit.
Thanks.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. After the success of Spider-Man only 2 years earlier, it came as no surprise to anyone when Sam Raimi returned to helm the sequel. This time around, Peter Parker must try to coexist with his super alter ego while battling Dr. Octopus, a scientist who, after a failed experiment, is left insane and fused with a mechanical set of tentacles. Filled with the same frenetic action as the original, and delving deeper into the complex character that is the New York City web-slinger, this film nearly broke the box office when it was first released. Who can forget the scene of Spidey holding back a train with nothing but a couple of webs and powerful face muscles? This film definitely deserves a spot in the pantheon of superhero flicks.
Hang on!
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
To answer your question, there are two reasons why I'm looking at you like this. One, because it seems in a few minutes that you will officially be the only survivor of this train wreck. And two, because you didn't break one bone.
Number 1, The Dark Knight. Come on, was this ever in doubt? The preeminent film in Christopher Nolan's seminal Batman trilogy takes the top spot for reasons too long to fit into just one video. Having established himself amongst the city's criminal underworld, Batman must now battle for the soul of Gotham against the ultimate agent of chaos, Heath Ledger's iconic Joker.
What do you believe in, huh? What do you believe in?
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
The film is as close to a living, breathing entity as ever existed on the silver screen. Unfolding in a flurry of brilliant action sequences, this film is more than just a great superhero movie, it is the superhero movie. Beloved by audiences and critics alike, the film was nominated for 8 Academy Awards and topped the list of the highest-grossing films of the year.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite superhero film of the 2000s?
I thought you said you were done making weapons.
It is. This is a flight stabilizer.
It's completely harmless. I didn't expect that.
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.